Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and we are of course returning to Hearts of Iron 4 La Resistance, where we're playing as the Soviet Union. And I'm very eager because today we are going to see whether our play in Iran down here does work out as expected. Now, a couple of you guys have been asking me why I'm actually going for Iran first. And it's a little bit of role-playing. Historically, the Russians and afterwards the Soviet Union, at least in the early days, was very much focused on getting a nice free harbor. Because, of course, the harbor at Murmansk up here and down there in Arkansas, they are not very ice-friendly. You'll have to travel through all of this. Likewise, Leningrad or St. Petersburg is not ice-free all year round. So during the summer you can sail over here and unload cargo here. But during the winter months that is not possible. Also the Baltic Sea is kind of easy to block, both here in the Strait of Denmark as well in the Gulf of Finland. So for quite a while the Russians were very keen on getting an ice-free harbour, and one of that might be in the Baltic Sea, and that's why we are going for for Turkey down here, but also in Iran or Persia, which was for much of the 19th century being played over as the great game between the British, as they were down here in the British Raj anyway, and the Russians, which were coming up sort of from the north, and Iran has been a pretty much contested battleground between the two major nations for quite a while. So I think it's sort of appropriate to do that. Now, we have been boosting communist support over here by quite a bit, so we are now at about 39%, which is not great. It's not about above 50%, but I do think it does make sense to go ahead and start our first mission over here, and that is going to be to orchestrate a coup. That will initiate basically a civil war, if I'm not completely mistaken. Yes, civil war, where, well, basically the communists will rise up. We need to spend 12,000 infantry equipment on that. I don't think that we have quite as much right now, but we are producing quite a bit per day, I would imagine. So that shouldn't take too long, and I think it's going to be alright. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's see whether we can get our communist brothers into force over here. Now here's what we need to do. All of this here is just basically flavor as I understand it, but it's nice to read. We need to define a target state for our operation, and we are gonna define, I think, Tibrits up here, just mainly so that the uprising will be happening here. We can't turn it on Tehran, the capital, but I do want it to be adjacent to our border so that we can support them if at all possible. We need to pick two operatives, and of course we're going to pick the nearly commander over here, this lady who is already an Iranian national, and we do need a second one, and I do think picking her would actually be very nice here. Let's go for Natalia as well. These two guys are going to try it. It's a relatively risky operation, but I do think it would be very much fun to do that. Now, what I like to do is I like to click this button over here. Otherwise, it will just prepare that, and you need to manually launch it. And this way, it's going to kick off right away once it is prepared. That, of course, does mean that we need to produce quite a bit more infantry equipment and all of that. But other than that, that should be fine and interesting and lovely as well. So, are you actually still building that? I think, yeah, just unpausing for a second does change that over here, and that is fantastic. Well, did it though? Okay, no, it's you and you. Wait. I thought the two girls here were preparing that strike. You probably don't need to do that for as long as you are still building support over here. Yes, we don't have the infantry equipment, and we need to spend one civilian factory over 14 days. So, and it does need 180 days in total. So that is going to take a while over here still. Where are you actually? You didn't counterintelligence. Well, that's not really what I wanted to do. I do think we can continue to boost. No, not propaganda. Ideology, communism over here, so that once the event triggers, we'll have a little bit more support like that. So that should be fairly lovely. You guys are training up. That is nice as well. Right, so yeah, I think we can continue. Let's go for production briefly, and I do think I would like to very much build up just a tiny scooch of anti-air artillery equipment. That would, I think, be very nice indeed. Infantry equipment just has the highest priority. Still, we are producing a couple of tanks, so all of that is fairly wonderful, I believe. Some support equipment here as well, so that is good. Right, I also think we could just briefly have a look at our navy over here, and specifically at you guys, because I do think we have quite a couple of destroyers over here. Not sure whether we really need that many. Where are you guys based? Up here in Murmansk. Now, let's briefly look at the design here. Now, you do have some capability against submarines, so you are just a general fleet destroyer. It would be good to give you some anti-air, but It would also be good to give you some sonar so that you can actually find submarines if we ever need them up there. Remember, the Germans have an enormous amount of bonuses attributed to them, so that is slightly unfortunate. How are you guys doing? Yeah, we don't have a large amount of older destroyers or anything. Okay, you are way over here. Well, that is not something that I want. Let's bring you up over here to Leningrad and just be based out of there. I don't think we can... A couple of destroyers against Japan is simply not going to be very useful. Right, as I was saying, remember Germany is being boosted enormously over here, and they do have some very, very significant advantages that we need to be mindful about. Right, we've also got someone building up an intelligence network in Germany, which I very much appreciate. We do definitely want to find out more about them. Now, we've researched this. I do think it's a little bit early for anything else, but what we could do is Special Forces hot and cold acclimatization gain factor, because guess what? Russia is a pretty cold place, and it might pay off to have our forces adapt to that a little bit faster every year. So that'd be great. Right, you are now orchestrating the coup, that's alright, and the other guys are doing their thing as well, so that's good. Right, let's see how good that is going to turn out. I'm very excited about that. 180 days, we'll find out. Right, 3 military factories, that is including the anti-air. Let's see whether we do need anything in particular. We do have a couple of tactical bombers, but you're building that up, so I think that's going to be alright. You're using 5 civilian factories, that's okay too. Do we really need to build more light tanks? Well, I do not know really. Some armored cars are usually useful, or might be useful, especially when we get to the newer stuff later on. But for now, I don't think we need that as such. Now, you guys are all fine. Aircraft, naval bombers. I think we could do with slightly more scout planes, actually. We are producing some, and we do have more than 50, so I'm going to look at that in a second. We also might want to do with a couple of more fighters, so let's go for 7 of those. And then in terms of infantry equipment, we can slightly boost that as well, because having more infantry equipment is always very useful. Let's deprioritize that so that all of this stuff here gets filled up before. Did I do anything else? No, that's fine. Good. And fantastic, actually. Right. We are decrypting the cipher of Japan, which is very lovely because it will give us nice bonuses, including some very good bonuses, I think. Yeah. Right, and there we go. Computing machine done and transpolar flights done. That's okay. Let's have a look at that. We could do socialist realism for some more political power. Useful, but not really required. Research bonuses for aircraft, not that critical. The next aircraft level is 1940. We're not going to research that yet. So yeah, we don't really need that. We could do the increased reinforcement rate, which is super useful. But I do think we want to go for an ocean-going navy. Not really for the battleship models, but just to unlock all of this stuff down here. So yeah, let's go for that. That's fine. Computing machine, also very nice and lovely. 1938 we could do with better radar. Don't really think we need any of this stuff. Excavation is nice, but yeah, okay, let's go for it. It might increase our available resources a little bit, which in turn means we can trade for more, or we can trade more way rather. And trading more way would be very lovely indeed, because that would give us more civilian factories. You, my friend. Ah, okay, you're part of this army, and that's why you're training up. You know what? You are fine. You don't actually need to be trained up any further than this, so let's assign to this here. I think that's alright. Good. Yeah, and you guys are training up further, so that is also good. Right, how are we looking in terms of logistics? Yeah, we do have a lot of infantry equipment over here, so that is fairly nice, actually. I think we need about 24,000 to train an army group. So yeah, let's wait a little bit. I do want to have a little bit in reserve, just so that once this coup here does trigger, which is going to be in 100 days or so, we can support them with some equipment as well. That being said, I think we can also have a look at the units that we've got over here, and specifically on the cavalry. I would like to make sure that you are not getting the newest equipment. Okay, I've actually done that in between episodes, so that's alright. Wow. China has capitulated. Well, that's big news. Well, that's pretty scruffy for us, actually. How about the communists? Are you still at war? No, that's okay then. So we could invite you to our faction, but they wouldn't accept. Base reluctance, because no one is at war. We could try to make that make our case a little bit more aggressively here. Is anyone communist in the region? You sort of could be persuaded, maybe. But you are an imperial protectorate, so that's unlikely. You're actually fine, but we can't invite you to our faction because, again, you wouldn't accept. But you do have strategic reasons too. So actually, Xinjiang might be a very good ally over here. So that is something that we want to contemplate then. Right, how is our network in Germany looking? Not actually too bad, so that's good. Well, let's see. Let's first see how this is going to turn out over here. Oh, and there's our new army. I think that is about the army number 6 or 5. It's army number 5. And I do like a slightly different naming scheme here, just to make sure that we are sort of... Oh, you're also an infantry leader. I did not know. And a hill fighter. And you could be something else as well. Adaptable. Terrain penalty reduction plus 30%. Well, that is lovely. But also infantry. Well, infantry expert. That is just fantastic. Okay, yeah. Let's give you this army, definitely. Fine, fantastic. Good. Are we recruiting anything else then? No, we are not. Okay. So in that regard then, yeah, I do think we do want to train up much more infantry. So yeah, let's go ahead and add another group of 24 divisions over here, just to train up. Where do we need some? Yeah, let's say Kiev. I think that's okay. Right, just one run of that is going to be alright, and that should be okay. Good. Agent captured. Well, that is not great because now we do need to do another rescue operation down here in Iran. And basically we only have one guy ready for that, and that is you. So let's conduct that as soon as possible. It's only going to be 30 days, but it would be lovely to get you out of there before anything else. Could do more stuff over here, but right now that is not really required, I think. Political advisor, who would we want? Would you make it more likely that other people are going to join our faction? Stability bonus would also be super useful. Kalinin. Can also change out some of our policies. Okay, let's go for Kalinin. A bonus here on stability is very nice. That does give us a bonus on production, so that is great. Right, we're not deciphering anything. We've cracked the cipher of Japan, so that is good. So now we've got Finland, Germany, and Japan, basically our most likely enemies, which I think is great. So who else do we think might be useful to crack? Certainly think about the allies. Could think about Italy as well, of course. I wonder whether we're going to meet that many Italian guys. Let's do the UK. It's not a likely enemy. But I do like to be prepared, and I do think it does make some sense from a role-playing perspective. So, 25 days until that is done. We are presumably very short on infantry equipment now, yes, but that's not going to last long, only 20 days, so that's okay. Right, we've done an ocean-going navy. Let's found the Foreign Office, I think, which is going to decrease. Well, this is relatively irrelevant, but it does open up nice things later on. Hungary doing stuff, Germany starting to behave a little bit more aggressively, sort of as is to be expected, but yeah, that's not really that bad. Infantry equipment is being prepared there, and our penalty from the officers being purged is being lowered. It's pretty harsh right now, minus 40%. And the Trotskyist plot is being reverted, so they did say something about the X. Well, that's interesting. National focus bypassed. Smurge. Okay, that's interesting. Ah, great. So, we can do partisan suppression. That is going to be extremely useful later on. We can also do NKDV, but that... Aren't we doing something? Yeah, no, we are doing something. Okay, 6 days till our operative is being freed up. Hopefully, at least. Yes, you are. You are the guy who's very good at orating, so I'm going to put you in charge of something in Turkey. But apparently I can't do that. Okay, fine. Then let's build up a network in Turkey and then boost ideology in Turkey. I can't do that really. Okay, so I really actually do need to get you down here. And there needs to be some sort of minimum. Okay, that's fine. Okay, then you can actually go back to Germany. It's a pity that we've lost our entire network there. But yeah, we'll just need to deal with that. 60 days until the coup in Persia is gonna happen. Special forces being done. Nice. This is just way ahead of time. We can maybe think about doing some 1939 stuff. The penalty isn't that bad at this moment. We could also do fighter baiting. Apparently we do have a bonus to that. Oh yeah, due to transatlantic flights. Yeah, you know what, in that sense then, or if that's the case then, let's do that. Right, finished. Yes, we know about that. Good. 44 days. And counting. Well, well, well. Come on, come on. Just a month away and we're gonna get a nice bonus there. Defense and depth also done, and excavation 2. Great. So, what else do we need then? Again, 1939, 1940, 1940. Land doctrine, we could certainly do more. 1939, anti-tank equipment. I'm sort of contemplating doing that. Yeah, none of this is really required for the Soviet Union. For other nations it is very useful, but not really that much for the Soviets, I think. Right, nearly finished here on the new infantry equipment stuff. So yeah, I do think it does make sense to start out with some 1939 stuff. And we're going to go for deep battle over here. Don't really have the army experience to accelerate that, but that's alright. And in terms of industry, we're going to go for concentrated industry 3. Yes, it's a little bit ahead of time, but still it's going to be very useful. Right, there we go, 24 days. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Huh. Look at that. So, Japan has declared war on Communist China. Communist China does not really stand a chance. I mean, the good thing is they're in the mountains. This is a very defensible place. They've got a river down here. I do think they have a river up here, so yes, that is very useful. But let's have a look here. Shaanxi is a puppet, basically, and so is whatever that is called, mainland China? Reorganized government of China. Yeah, you're a total puppet. So we could support them, of course, at the risk of going into an early war with Japan. Now the issue is, I think we might be able to beat Japan on the land front, but where will that lead us? We can't beat Japan in the home islands. It would be certainly fun to do that. It would be certainly very weird. But I do think I want to focus a little bit on an historical run over here, specifically with Germany. So I maybe should not have killed off the Chiang Kai-shek, the leader of the Chinese. How often can you be captured? Damn you. Alright, we've done that. So we could go for this route down here. Could give us a couple of things. But ultimately I do think anti-fascist diplomacy is the slightly better call over here. Germany is going to be super aggressive in this little Let's Play here. So yeah, let's make sure that we are taking care of that. Building up a lot of infantry equipment now. That is fantastic. Speaking of, we do now have a new infantry weapon over here, so that is very great as well. Right, 1939 technology production efficiency cap. How close are we to the efficiency cap on? Well, we do, and we are actually pretty close to that on a lot of our equipment. Although with infantry equipment, it's going to change very rapidly now. Yeah, other than that though, we are producing, we are extremely close to producing, to being at the production limit. So if we could increase that, that would give us quite a bit of a benefit. On the other hand, construction would also be nice, so that we are snowballing out of control a little bit faster and a little bit harder. Construction speed plus 10%, it's nice, but is it no? I think we are going to go for this, and that might be a little bit more useful. Right, and by the way, let's have a brief look here at the decisions and see whether we do need any of this. Aluminium or steel. I don't think we need any of that. We are trading for rubber, I believe. Yes, we are, so that's not really quite as critical. Right, let's see. How long is it going to take? 2 days until... There we go. Iranian Communist Authority declared war on Iran. So, we've now 2 Irans. We've got Iran, and we've got Iranian Communist Authority. The new Iran, our friends, our buddies, the ones that we've just supported. And now these guys got a couple of the Iranian divisions, and I think about 40% of them, and a bit of their territory. What I really like is that it's cutting Iran in half. So if they are capable of maintaining this position, it would be really nice, because then these guys down here would be out of supply. On the other hand, there's a real chance that they're just going to lose one province like that, and that their eastern troops in that regard would then be cut off. Let's talk to our new communist friends over here, and see whether we can support them in any way. Can we send them volunteers? We could. We could, and we could send them up to 5 guys, and you know what? I think that is exactly what we're going to do. So let's grab, I think again, our special forces over here. Yeah, and I think just these five guys would be perfectly lovely doing this. Right, let's reallocate you to that. Let's find a good general, someone who we think has some potential. You know what, Trickster? Why not? I just like the idea. It's a little bit of flavor. So yeah, let's go ahead over here and let's send your volunteers. The 5 divisions under you, including some air volunteers, and I think they're definitely going to accept that. So yeah, there we go. And then we're going to also start a land and lease program of some of our older equipment over here. 1,000. Let's say we're going to send you a one-time gift of 1,000. I mean, it's not much, but it's definitely a little bit. So yeah, there we go. So, volunteered forces are on transfer. We are seeing their stuff over there already. Let's get over here and start actually looking at our scout planes. So, let's say 100 scout planes, why not? These do work in peacetime, and we can send them over here. Well, we are not actually in peacetime, right? We are fighting them in on their own terms. So, sorry, we are actually considered to fight them. So, forces that we are sending over there will actually be considered as involved in the ground war. Right, have you got a couple of airfields down here? You haven't captured a single airfield. Well, thank you, that's fantastic. Right, okay, let's get you guys over here. Yes, I do know that that is going to detach that. And let's go for air superiority over here. It's not going to be extremely useful, but that's alright. And likewise, you're going to get over here and also get towards some air superiority missions. Right, let's see. Good. So we should get a lot of intel about their positions. Yes, you can see we are starting to see some of these things because we did send in the scout planes. But yeah, here's the danger. They might actually cut in here and cut off this entire part of our revolutionary friends. They're actually closing in on the capital right there. But on the other hand, the same is happening for our forces. Right, anyway, 5 of our guys have arrived down here of all places. And that's not great. So you've got a new capital now, which is fine, I suppose. No one is being cut off over here, so that's great. So I think what we can actually do is set up some front like this. somewhat wide, but let's try to do it this way. Well, yeah, let's try to not walk over there. I think walking is a little bit slow. Yeah, like that I enjoy a little bit more. You know what? Let's actually get on an attack plan over here. And you guys can you not walk into Iran, into Tehran? Okay, I do need to do this slightly more slowly, and we do have 3 military factories, which is always which is of course always very much welcomed. Let's build a little bit more in terms of tactical bombers. Artillery, I think, is fine. Light tanks, we are producing some, so that's good. Yeah, let's go for more infantry equipment. As the Soviets, if in doubt, just try to get more people to sign up to your army. Okay. Right, there we go. We are walking into Tehran now. That is lovely. Come on, come on, come on. There you go. Well, maybe don't try to attack. I don't know if it actually looks like a decent attack plan over here. Do we gain any bonus for reconnaissance or anything? No, not right now. Well, that's alright. You guys might want to just try to cut them off over there. Chinese Empire, Communists, yeah, they couldn't really stand a chance. That's unfortunate, but it's going to be alright, I think, in the midterm. Right, you're coming up there. Let's try to flank this force over there, because I do think that would be brilliant. And a very nice change over there as well. Okay. Right, you're doing that now? You know what? Let's actually just support this attack instead of a full-blown assault with that unit as well. Right, you don't need to move there, but you can, again, support that. Mechanically, it's the same thing, except that these guys aren't moving in, actually, so that is alright. Good, that I very much enjoy. This is a very lucky outcome for us over here, and I should actually make sure to firstly get someone like you to build up a network over here so that we can start to free him, actually, because that'd be great. And likewise, let's build up an intel network down there in Ankara. No, what we can actually... No, we don't need industrial blueprints. I would very much like to infiltrate some of you guys. Right, let's see. Okay, so you're gonna mix that up. We're gonna get someone down here, and then we're gonna free our operative, because I do not know what's gonna happen if Iran would surrender and our operative would count as being... Can we block you in place? No, we cannot. And if our operative at the same time would count as being captured, would he just disappear? I do not know. No, we could actually try to find that out. Ah, damn it. Okay, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay, you can try to flank them. You stop this silly attack, and instead just attack over there. Right, and you guys will need to find some sort of attack plan towards there, just so that you're building up your attack power like that, and that's going to be alright. Good. Apparently we are now being attacked, which I appreciate. That's nice. So, and we are linking up with our actual forces up over here, which is also very nice indeed. Let's see how things are going down here. 4%, that's not a lot. Right, and you are now sort of cutting them off. Are you actually out of supply? Yes, you are, so as we sort of expected. But it would be nice to capture the Victory Point province there as well. On the one... Ah, well. Too close, too close. Okay, let's try to counterattack over there. That's going to be alright. Let's try to grab the airfield. And let's try to encircle around over there. We're not going to bother with the southern front for now, but just going to mop up over here. As these guys are more or less out of supply anyway. I think we can accelerate time here just a scooch. Are you really doing that badly over here? You are, so let's not continue to do that. But instead just move into empty terrain. Like this. Just bypass the hard points of the enemy. And then you can circle back around like that. Okay, fairly lovely. Good. Let's cut them into more pieces as we go. You're fine over here. Let's get into Tabriz. Okay, you're starting to struggle down here. Why is that? That's curious. Probably just don't have enough organization. Well, I mean, our modifiers are really, really nasty. Okay, that's good over there. Yeah, that is also looking fantastic. You're just moving up here. Can you get the victory point? You're moving up there. No, just like this, please. Yeah, mostly mopping up over here. Fine and alright. Come on. Deal with this. And up over here. Let's firstly bob these guys. I just selected you again. Okay, bob that guy. Let's also do that over here. Nice. Let's try to get to Bandar Abbas. I do think that's the last victory point that they have, so that should also be very nice. Right, there we go. Munich Agreement. Germany is behaving a little bit more aggressively. Just a little bit. Right, and this should also be done. Come on, there we go. Let's try to get rid of these guys here as well. This little front line. You're coming up there. You can actually just capture that, please. You want you do capture this, please. Great. And just last, let's just wrap that up. Good. And that should more or less do it for Iran? No? Where are our airplanes? Well, they could move up a little bit, couldn't they? Well, this is not really enough. Fighter baiting, good stuff. It is now 1939 actually, so we can continue to research 1939 technologies, which just are really only this. Well, recon companies I think are going to be extremely useful in this iteration. They were always very strong, I think, or I feel, but they might even become a little bit more strong, a little bit stronger here. Okay, you're moving down there, you're moving up over here. You guys will just finish that up. You're moving down there. You can actually be down here. Let's just get here via railroad. And I do think once we capture Bandar Abbas, they're probably going to surrender fairly quickly. There we are. So here we are, Communist Iran Communist Authority. Big question is, can we invite you to our faction? You do not want to accept that? Come on. And also, you're captured by Turkey. Well, isn't that interesting? Right, and okay, let's continue to build our network in Turkey to free you, and then sooner rather than later we're going to focus on Iran again, just to convince them to actually join our faction now that we have couped them successfully. That's slightly annoying, honestly. Reducing the penalty here, yeah, 35%. It's starting to look okay. Insufficient resources, that's just a little bit of Roberts, not too drastic. So I think that's alright. How are we looking here in terms of Turkey? Can we actually free our guy? 30% is what we need, and we are gaining very little. 0.6 basically. Why is that so little? Really curious. How are things looking in Germany? 73%. Now that is much better. But yeah, we don't really have the operatives to do everything at the same time, unfortunately. Right. Also a couple of guys on transfer. That is nice. I think we can accelerate further over here. And there we are. These guys are back in Leningrad. We're going to of course merge them back onto their main guy, onto these main guys, and that should be lovely. What have we got over here? Chinese Empire. Curious. Well, that being said, I think now is a very good place to put in a cut, because this is again much longer than I anticipated. But you know what? I think that's alright. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope to see you around next time when we do deal with the Turkish situation. Bye bye, guys.